Hello, sports fans. You are listening to Beyond Debatable, the podcast that covers all things sports. I'm your host, Michael Rachel, and on the other side of the camera is Jack, the stat man. Cudahy.
How are you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Hold on.
Good. All right, before we start this video on the Cleveland Cavaliers and Indiana Pacers Game 2, make sure to go right down below and like and subscribe, and then follow us on Twitter and engage with us in some good old debate. All right, Jack. So the Cleveland Cavaliers just defeated the Pacers Game 2 of the best-of-7 series, 100-97. LeBron James had 46 points, including the first 16 for Cleveland. What were your thoughts on the Cavs Game 2 performance?
I mean, when you say the Cavs, you mean LeBron, right? Since he's basically the whole team.
I'm talking the whole team. I'm talking the whole team.
The whole team. I mean, but that's kind of the point.
Right.
LeBron had an all-time game. 46, 12, and 5 on 70% shooting. I mean, 17 of 23 from the field. It doesn't get better than that. And the crazy part about it is everyone on the Pacers, everyone in the building knows that he's their only threat to create offense. And he's still able to do this time and time again. It's it's amazing that 15 years into the league, there hasn't been a defense that has been able to stop him even a little bit over an extended period of time, other than in 2011 when the Mavericks beat them. But he's improved since then, and it's clear. I feel like we become complacent in how we view this guy just because he's been so dominant for so long. What we're seeing, we're not going to be able to see a lot in the future. However, they won by 3. That's a problem. LeBron, I don't think LeBron can continue to play as well as he did in this game. Especially on the road. Maybe at home he'll be able to do this, but you cannot expect him in his 15th season to be putting up 40 points a night just for single-digit victories. This game should have been a 20 to 30-point blowout based off of how he played. Other than Kyle Korver, who was on probably their second or third best player, just in terms of making shots, being a three-point threat, and Kevin Love, who at this point is just he's solid, but he's not a game changer. Other than those two guys, who else on that team scares you if you're Indiana?
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody scares you. I mean, what's Rodney Hood doing? I thought he was going to come in and immediately start,
Yeah, Rodney Hood only played 16 minutes tonight, had 5 points and 1 assist in 16 minutes.
I don't know. I really don't know how they attack this Pacers. The Pacers are not, especially defensively, while they are a smart team, they don't have, outside of Oladipo, a bunch of really good individual defenders. This is a team that if Cleveland wants to claim that it can outscore everyone, they should be scoring 120, 130 points a game. Putting LeBron with a bunch of shooting around him should automatically do that for you. Remember 2 years ago, I think, when they played the Atlanta Hawks in the second round, and they would stick a bunch of shooters around LeBron. He'd drive to the rim, and every time he'd just pick out shooters, and they just chuck threes up the whole game. I was expecting that. I was not expecting everyone else to struggle but LeBron. I mean, technically, you would think they'd have good shooters on this team. George Hill, before he got there, was a 45% three-point shooter on the Kings. I'm not entirely sure what his stats are since then. Rodney Hood's a 40% three-point shooter. I mean, Kevin Love can stretch the floor really well. Kyle Korver's obviously a sniper. They have the shooting in theory, but it hasn't translated to the playoffs yet. And yeah, it's only been 2 games, but it's really concerning. I mean, if they play this poorly, the supporting cast, I'm saying, against better teams, they're not going to make it out of the East. It's just the facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to the supporting cast. Other than LeBron, both games, only 2 other guys scored in double digits. Tonight it was Korver with 12 and Kevin Love with 15. And then in game 1, it was J.R. Smith and Larry Nance Jr. With 15 and 10 respectively. I mean, Rodney Hood has been non-existent this entire series. Jordan Clarkson, 21 minutes in game one, and I'm not sure he played 14 minutes tonight. So I mean, J.R. Smith 35 minutes tonight, only 5 points. It's just they're getting no production other than LeBron because I think they're just expecting him to carry, and it worked tonight. It did because he had that historic game one or first quarter, but the rest of the game, Indiana really outplayed him.
The other thing that I think Cleveland struggles with, and then we'll get into Indiana because we need to talk about them, but a lot of their players that are very good for them offensively are sieves on defense. They don't have a lot of two-way guys like Kevin Love, Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith. If you play them, it should theoretically boost your offense, which it usually does. But defensively, none of those guys are very good individual defenders. We saw that last year with Golden State. They would just pick on them in isolation situations. Like, this is Cleveland's biggest problem. They don't have lineups that can mix offense and defense very well. And they're basically, in my opinion, their best strategy is let's outscore everyone. We're not going to defend, but let's outscore everyone. And when they're only scoring 100 points in a game like this, is that strategy viable? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm concerned. I'm happy, though, that LeBron showed that he gives a shit.
Yeah. And I want to move on to the Pacers real quick, Jack.
Yeah.
And I'm personally really impressed with how Indiana played tonight. They got down, I think it was 19-3 really early. LeBron was doing LeBron to the ultimate power, and they weathered that storm, and they managed to climb back into the game multiple times. And that's with Oladipo forced to only play 28 minutes tonight because he had 3 quick fouls and then picked up the 4th one. And I'm really impressed. I mean, they had 17 turnovers, yet at the end of the game, Oladipo had a wide open 3 to tie the game with 20 seconds to go to a Cleveland team who had LeBron put up 46.
I mean, in Oladipo was plus 11 when he played in the game. If he weren't in foul trouble, like that could have been, the Pacers could have taken the game.
I thought it would. I was telling people that I thought LeBron would have to score 50 to win the game. He only needed 46 to get it done. But I mean, Indiana really impressive. They could have easily packed it up at halftime because they got that road win in game one to switch the home court for themselves. So I mean, when they were down 20 or whatever it was in that first half, and Oladipo was in foul trouble, they could have easily sat him, rested him for game 3 back in Indiana. But credit to them, they fought hard and they damn near grabbed the 2-0 lead in this series.
Mm-hmm. I've done it on this, like I did it like 5 minutes ago. It's very easy to hate on Indiana for not having a lot of talent, but they work. They're a smart team that works hard, and that can't be said for every team in the NBA, as we know with the Bucks. Yeah. We've seen that. The Bucks, the Wizards are a good example. The Timberwolves tonight. I mean, they don't have a ton of top-end talent, but they work hard. They don't make mistakes, and they make you earn it. And they're not going to fall over. That's why I think, although Cleveland tied it up, like Pacers fans should be ecstatic. They're going home after splitting and could have won both games.
Right.
With LeBron playing like he did, that good for them.
And I'm looking at the stats here right now. It only shows that Trevor Booker played 9 minutes tonight. Man, it seemed like he played 20 plus minutes because whenever he was out there, I mean, he was really lock-up defense. He's playing well.
And that's another guy. Like, he's played on, what, 3 teams this year?
Yeah.
Like, anybody could have had him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the way that they played. They're the biggest surprise of the season for me. I had no expectations for them at all. And it's not just Oladipo, even though he's a huge part of it. I think we need to start recognizing just how they've maximized their talent. I think that's the best way of putting it. Yeah.
All right. Looking up to game 3 here. I think the Pacers have to be favored. Do you agree?
I would agree, yeah. I mean, there's no reason to expect the supporting cast of Cleveland to play better on the road, right? I mean, they might, but I wouldn't bet on it.
I mean, you can't expect LeBron to go for 40 plus every single night. So one off night, you're gonna have to look to Kevin Love. Kevin Love, an all-star, I believe, had 7 points in the first game. Like, that's just inexcusable. You can't have an all-star on your team not getting you double figures day in, day out.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Love, George Hill, and Rodney Hood need to step up. Those are the 3 guys that were supposed to be like in their starting lineup, their closing lineup. Like, those are the guys that need to start contributing a lot more if they want to get anywhere. Like, especially if they get through to the next round, because Toronto looks like they're rolling.
Yeah, and it was good. I saw Ty Lue's post-game press conference tonight, and it was good to see that he wasn't pleased with this win to get it back to 1-1. He was really there was a question asking if he needed more production from Rodney Hood, and he just flat out said we need more production from everybody. I'm assuming he's not saying LeBron, but every other player on that team needs to step up. Otherwise, this could be 5 or 6 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all I have on this.
All right. That's going to do it for us. Thanks to Jack, the Statman Cudahy, and I'm Michael Rachel. You've been listening to Beyond Debatable.